What's up, beautiful souls? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Mamina. You can call me Mina for short, or Divine Star Seed. This is a pick a card for the collective, focusing on how everything you touch can and will turn to gold. And we're going to see how by tapping into the energy within you. What is it you need to unlock and or tap into? If you resonate with elemental energy, you can go here. If you resonate with healer or herbal energy, you can go here. So elemental and herbal. Before you make your choice, close your eyes. Inhale slowly for the count of 2. Hold the breath for 2. Slowly release for 2. 222 is an important number for the whole group. Pause the video, do that as many times as you need to until you feel grounded. And once you are centered and you're ready to make your choice, feel free to do so, and I will see you at your chosen pile. All right, pile 1. You chose the elemental, and as you can see, making that fire move. So some of you might resonate in particular with the element of fire. We're going to put that right there so it can stay in view. Let's get into your message. You guys are going to really, really love this tarot right here. So let's tap into your vibration and find out how everything you touch can and will turn to gold. Pile 1. Ooh, off the bat, we have the 6 of Chalice. Ooh, High Priestess and the Moon. Okay. So automatically, just from these 3 cards right here, we know what we're working with. I love being able to show you guys the effects that this deck particularly does. We're going to start with these 3 cards here. There's a lot of water energy around this pile. You may also resonate with a lot of fire energy. So for some of you, if you chose the elemental, balancing out your emotions so that you can choose and take the best course of action is the most important here in order to get what you need, in order to facilitate the energies that you want to make your desires a reality, to harness the energy the way that's necessity. That is a necessity here. With the elemental, normally these are people who, they're very action oriented. And again, this particular one is working with fire, but they're very action oriented. How can I implement this now? How can I mix this formula for the best result that I can use in a day-to-day practice and or when I really need to? So many of you are trying to figure out how to get balanced in the necessary energies. To start with, you've got to be willing to see your gifts for what they are. And if you notice how the wind is swirling around the kids here, if you guys can see that, and how the flowers are sparkling and changing and blowing in the wind, there's a need to really allow your energy to flow and express itself. You might have a hard time receiving. You got to allow yourself to be open to receive as well. There could be someone trying to give you guidance right now to assist you. This person could be tied to your past, but more so, I feel like it's just a person that knows how to help you to tap into your inner child. They know how to help you to tap into gifts that are a bit dormant right now. There's also the energy of like an overseer of sorts, maybe like somebody who tends to watch out for you or look out for you. I'm being made to notice the man in the background. I don't always point out the person in the background on these cards, but lately I've been feeling the need to do so. And on this one in particular, one of the things I'm noticing is this person back here seems to be patrolling the area. So there's an energy or a guardian around you that perhaps you can tap into for assistance, that's patrolling the area around you, trying to make sure that you're in a comfortable space to work your gifts, to practice your gifts. And your gifts are very much tied into not only intuition, but the balance between instincts and following direction. So on the moon card, we have the wolf, which represents the instinct, wild animal, the person who knows how to work with nature. And remember, you chose the group that is for the elementals. So you're someone who you need to be very much in balance and in tune with nature. Nature's natural way of being is cooperation, not destruction. Cooperation. Everything must cooperate with each other in order for the circle of life to continue. Then you have the dog. The dog is the loyal companion. The dog is also someone who learns how to follow instructions. Both can represent loyalty, just from different perspectives. The wolf is going to always have its core instincts, if you would, the instincts that are tied into the wild, the forest, the jungle, etc. Wherever you live, you resonate with whatever the wildlife is. That's what the wolf would represent being tied into. For some of you, it's more of a tiger vibe, so you could be the year of the tiger, or maybe, yeah, I feel like some of you are the year of the tiger here. Whereas for the dog, it's more so domesticated. Now, it's not saying that you have to be domesticated, but the dog represents the loyal companion that's used to being in the house, can be in tune with nature, but is far more associated with living in close quarters to the humans that they live with. So this is kind of like, how do you respond and communicate with the people who you might have to interact with on a daily basis, and how does your wild instinct balance with your more domestic instinct, for lack of a better way of putting it right now. Okay, we have the high priestess, the one who represents being able to tap into the inner knowing, and most importantly, she represents the mysteries. Okay, so a lot of your ability could be a mystery to you, but I feel like you've had your clues, you've had your hints. Like some of you, you know that you would work really well with the energy of fire. Because, not because you have a high temper, no, because that would mean that you would have to tame your fire, but because you find that you're really inspired, you get passionate about something and you really want to act upon it, you just don't always know how. Maybe sometimes your energy is a bit sporadic. So for you, it would be learning how to focus that energy. For others, you flow very well with water. You're able to get to the deep depth of things. You really like to have an understanding of your surroundings and an understanding of the nature of people or just situations that you're dealing with. And this can help you with whatever you're trying to do, be it in business, spirituality, whatever it is. You're going to need a balance of these three elements here. Understanding your gifts and being able to be in a position to listen if advice is being given, to work with someone else who typically wants to share their wisdom with you. It's an exchange energy. The sixes a lot of times are that. They represent sometimes this energy of exchange, this energy of harmony is what can play in the six. And then with the moon here, it represents being able to illuminate a state in the night, but also be able to see and gain clarity, sometimes through dreams. So maybe some of you have strong visions, or you tend to have strong, what's the word I'm looking for? It's pretty much another word for prophecy, but like you have dreams that predict things pretty much, and then they come to pass, or they come to pass to some degree. When it comes to dreams, just like the moon card can sometimes indicate, it's not always about the message being exact to what you dream. For example, sometimes people you may see in your dream aren't the people you're supposed to be talking to, but they represent the archetype of someone that you're supposed to be talking to. Like, you know, when people have a dream about like a celebrity, like they'll be like, oh, I dreamed I was on the Star Trek ship and I was talking to the head captain, and blah, you know what I mean? Okay, so what does the head captain on that ship represent? What does the ship represent? Why, what mission were they going on? These are hints. And then it's up to you to decipher. Now, the person who would be able to decipher is the high priestess, because she has an inner knowing. So she's able to tap in, look beyond what's on the surface. So many of you are seeing beyond just the physical eye. Okay, let's go dive just a tad deeper before we get into any other cards. There's a lot about wind around you guys. So in your chart, you probably have strong, and again, all the zodiacs play in your chart. I know that people who get stuck on one ideal of astrology have a hard time understanding this, but each one of the zodiacs contribute to you in some capacity, and it's not always just about the degree. It can be literally about the type of day it is. So look at your main signs, and then, for example, this is just an exercise. Look at your main signs if you know them. If you don't, go by your sun sign. And then look at how it's going to operate, for example, in the energy of Capricorn that we're going into, right? How is it going to operate under Capricorn's vibration? What does Capricorn energy mean cosmically? Forget just the personal human traits that humans have come up with, saying, hey, if you're a Capricorn, here's a list of what you are. What is Capricorn as a cosmic energy? How can it improve, help, advance you in whatever energy you're in for either your sun sign, your moon, your rising, etc., etc. If you know your whole chart, if you know all of your planet placements and houses and etc., same thing applies. You don't always have to go by what you've been taught is the rule, because keep in mind, cosmic energy and energy in general is expansive. It always expands, therefore it's more diverse, it's more layered and complex, beautifully complex, than what the standard ideals may be. And even though those ideals can also seem beautifully complex, there's always another layer, another layer, another layer. So we're heading into the energy of Capricorn. We have vibrations here that can represent water signs, such as Scorpio, Pisces, Cancer, right? And we have the moon represented twice here, honestly, because the high priestess always carries a strong vibration of the moon. So with that being the case, when it comes to your intuition, when it comes to the dreamscape, how can you use the discipline of Capricorn to harness these energies? Now, it's not about working harder, it's about working smarter. So you're going to want to be mindful, if you are a Capricorn, in not taking things, for example, too literal, too technical. You're going to want to make sure you're flexible in your energy, fluent like water. There's a lot of air effects in the cards. See how the leaves are blowing back there, coming down from the tree as if a gust of wind is moving past? So air sign energy, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius are also here and present. Now we can look at, for example, the Six of Chalice, and we can take it even a step further with seeing what the other zodiac associated to the card is outside of the water sign. But we can keep it simple for now and just say, hey, you're heading into Capricorn season. These are the energies that are present on the surface that first come to mind. How can you work with these energies? How can you look at the strong points and weak points of your personal vibration? Because I say this all the time. When you are looking at your own zodiac, look at the evidence of what are the strong points for you as an individual. Don't just be giving all Scorpio, all Capricorn. No, because you're not everybody and everybody's not you. If you are a Capricorn, if you are a Scorpio or a Gemini, etc., how will your personal experiences and your personal ability to identify what of those signs apply to you assist you with these energies right now? That's going to help you to create what you need to, and tap into that magic. You'll see everything around you starts to work out. Doors start opening. Everything you touch turn into gold is pretty much implying that. It's saying you'll know when to make certain moves. Okay? We have transformation taking place here. Oh, yes. Because a new world is coming in. So it's time for you to complete. It's time for you to unravel yourself. All right? You've been holding up some of you guys, you know your gifts, but you kind of hold them back, or you kind of have one view of them, one way of thinking of them. And it's time for you to let the past go, open the door, allow yourself to see all the other aspects of these abilities for yourself. Okay, don't be afraid to explore your own personal magic. Elementals can also be people who like to speak up. They can have a lot of opinions, for example. Let's check your wishes here. Self-control. Didn't I tell you guys air energy? Justice. Here's justice. Okay, it's time to be truthful with yourself about your gifts. It's time to be truthful with yourself about your capability. Don't dumb yourself down here. And pay attention to how you're staying in harmony and in balance. Six of Chalice, the number 6, harmony. How are you staying in balance and in harmony with what you need to do? And are you open to receive guidance for your gifts? This could be spiritual guides, and for some of you, it could be someone else. And I do feel like another person, for many of you, want to share their gift with you too. This could be art. This could be anything creative. Okay, because the fire element is still present, and fire element is very inspiring, very passionate and creative in its own right, along with water. All right, so Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Okay, we have self-control, and that's really important for some of the fire babies who tend to have a hard time controlling their temper. You got to get some self-control here. That's going to help you out. Self-control can also be accountability. Okay, have accountability for your energy here. Need I say? I feel like it's like say less. Spiritual insight, high priestess. We covered that. Meditation is really important. There's different types of meditation. Maybe you are someone who's better with active meditation. So for example, without giving too much detail, let's say you're meant to work with the element of water. I'm going to give you something to do here. Get a big jar, preferably a glass, and if you feel like that's too much, get a small cup, okay? Fill the cup to about a little way to the rim of the cup. You know it won't spill if you walk, but you still have to walk kind of careful with it, about that high. Set the cup on a wood table or a table that you know isn't going to shake a lot if you're walking around or moving, like a kitchen counter, all right? Put your hands on either side of the cup. Focus your energy into the water, meaning your hands on either side of the cup or the bowl, and you're not touching it. You're not touching the table. Your arms aren't resting on the table. You're holding them a certain, let's say this card is the cup. You're holding them about this far away, and they're off the table, and they're on the side of the cup, not touching it. Now imagine the kind of energy that you want to flow into that water, okay? What type of emotions do you possibly want to release into the water? What type of reflections? Pick either or. You might say, okay, I want to reflect. Well, what specifically do you want to reflect on? You might say, I want to release. What specifically do you want to release? And for others, you might say, I want to empower myself somehow. Okay, these are your three options to choose from. Remember, pick one over the other. For those of you who say, I want to release, think of all the energy that you want to release in the water. Now, if you happen to have the ability to read water, you'll notice images or vibration starts to come off of the water. You may even notice ripples in the water. Depends on where you are with your energy at the time. Be patient with yourself. Don't rush the process. Trust and believe in what you're doing. Okay? You're going to put all that energy into that glass. Be mindful, because if you have a really strong presence, you could crack the glass. So make sure this is a bowl or a cup that you don't care to lose, just in case. All right? You're going to take that water and you're going to toss it outside. If you live somewhere where it might, form ice and you don't want nobody to slip on it, just be mindful. Maybe throw it in a garden or something like that. Don't throw it in a garden where you want things to grow. Like maybe throw it off on the grass, okay? You don't want it near you. So when you throw it, toss it away from you. Pay attention to the direction of the wind, because you don't want it to blow back. And every time, make a routine of doing this. Let's say you do this for 7 days. You're releasing these energies. You can choose one to release for each 7 days. This is a part of you training your ability of learning how to get in control by releasing negative vibrations, so that clarity can come in. Now, some of you may notice that your water gets foggy because you're releasing toxic energy. You're releasing bad habits. The water might go from being kind of clear, really clear, to seeming a little white, a little foggy. This won't be because of your faucet. So if the water is as clear as it should be, when it's coming out of the faucet, the fogginess will come in later. Okay? Some of you may not be able to read the water from an above view. You might have to hold the cup up so that you can see in the glass from the front of it. Okay? Now, for the next group. The next group who's saying, I want to reflect. I want to see what it is, or I want to feel what I should be tapping into and focusing on right now. You're going to do the same thing. You're going to put your hands on either side, and from your palms, this is very important for all of you, from your palms, you're visualizing the energy traveling in. Your guides are communicating to you through the water, and they're telling you and showing you what it is you need to see to focus on. Now, those of you who are doing this for focus purposes, you too might see an image, or you may notice the water will ripple. If it does, it'll ripple more so like a drop has fallen in the middle of the water. Whereas for the first group, if it ripples, it'll look more kind of like a wave going inward instead of outward. So pay attention to that. In one, it'll look like a drop, hit water, ripples out. For the other, it'll kind of look sort of like the ripples are going inwards, or they're flowing back and forth like a little wave, back and forth, back and forth. This is without you touching it, without you bumping the table, or none of that. Okay? Be patient with yourself. Trust the process. And for the last group, you are going to drink your water, so your focus is of the utmost importance. You focus into the glass all of the energy that you're trying to harness. You are trying to harness. So we have one group that needs to release, right? And we have another group that needs to kind of reflect and see what they can focus on in the time. And then we have the group that already knows what they want to focus on. They already know, they put an end to some things. They just want to know how to amplify their other abilities. From your palm, you visualize the same thing. Now for you guys, you might see a light energy surround the glass or the bowl. you'll see the ripples not only go outward, but the water may bubble up and overflow from the cup. This has happened. Okay, these are just things to prepare yourself for. It's not about you setting an expectation for it, but trust and believe in the process that you're transferring the energy as necessary. For some of you who might want to test it, you could freeze the water and see what shapes and crystal forms come in the water and read those shapes and crystal forms. But for group 3 in this, you would be drinking the water. So not only do you have to make sure that it's absolutely clean water, you want to make sure you're focused and you're not letting any type of negative thought invade your mind as you're charging this water, because you will be drinking it. And as you drink it, it is done. The blessings are here. I am doing it. Everything is in a doing process and a done process. Not a I wanna, it will come to me. It is done. It is happening. In the present moment, it is happening and it is done. And now pay attention to your energy throughout the day. If you do this for 7 days, write down how you feel for each 7 days and watch the progress of improvement. For each of these groups, if you do it for 7 days, write down how you feel and what progress you've noticed during that time and what gifts seem to be more clear during this time. Okay, now I'm just giving you a little tiny bit of an exercise that I would give to a client. Of course, for a client, it'd be a little more detailed and a lot more personalized stuff, but this is enough for like a general to practice with and work with. Fire, I am that's a whole different ball game. Okay, you would need a whole different kind of video. But you too, if you're into a fire element, the water can help you a lot, because the water can help you to calm down. Okay, but you're not going to want your glasses full if you're somebody who's more in the fire vibration. And I said fire vibration, fire element, but not necessarily the zodiac sign. So you can be any zodiac sign and resonate with working with fire. All right. Yours is going to be a little different though. You're going to need to work with your glass about half full and be very mindful, because your glass could crack, your glass could break. So try using glass that you know you don't mind losing, and or that you know is pretty thick. That took up a little bit of time, but it is what it is. We were using V's deck here. Now we're going to be using Mystic Star Magic's deck. And for those who are wondering about the tarot, it is the animated tarot. Let's see what we're working with here, because those two are standing out. We have divine intervention, minor but unfortunate events that bring about positive change. I feel like this is the past. This is a part of that transformation, ending energy that we see right here for many of you, or it's what you're in the process of right now. You've probably been dealing with a lot of stressful events. Hard to tell sometimes if the sun is rising or falling, but just trusting. Again, this is about you learning to trust and believe in the process. We also have youthful energy here, so some of you could have kids. You may have gifted kids. Sometimes people, when they become pregnant, they start tapping into gifts as well. So some of you who might be pregnant watching this, it's not a spirit baby reading, so I'm not going to go that route with it yet, but we do have the 6 of Cups and then the baby energy here. So some of you, it could be that. For most of you, it's this divine intervention energy all the way around. We have leaves, refresh, a new and better life will befall you. So we have what's in the past. And right here in the center where we have spiritual insight, this is your gradient period. So the moon, the spiritual insight, that's your gradient period. Okay? The self-control is what you're learning, so you're in the process of it, but the key is to actually, achieve it. We have another gradient energy here when we talk about the World card, because the World card is when you reach the level of completion. The High Priestess is a mix between the middle, the gradient, and a goal that you wish to achieve. Mastering, understanding the inner knowing, and then being able to tap into the unknowns and trust the process. So we have refresh here. A new and better life will befall you, because after a while, you'll be able to tap into these energies so flawlessly, everything you touch will turn to gold. You'll have the self-discipline necessary. That makes sense? Comment below if you're following along so far and it makes sense. We have candle. I'm going to tell you right now, ask help from your guides and your ancestors. Burn candles for them as offerings. For those of you who have a bit of a sporadic energy and you're a fire sign, I would recommend working with incense instead of candles, because as your gifts activate, the flame on the candle may activate. And I don't know what your living quarters is like. I feel like some of y'all might live in either a small place, or you might live around people whose their temperaments and yours clash, right? So work with incense instead. Open your window, right? Let the incense go out the window. If that's too cold, then every now and then open the door or something. But incense is easier. It can help you learn to read the smoke. Okay, that's something I'll talk more about. Maybe in group chats. Comment below if y'all want to join a group chat where I talk about some of these abilities here, and we'll set that up. Probably have to set it up via like a Zoom or something like that. Okay, now we're gonna get into Celeste Rose Oracle, because there's definitely, whoa, Celeste energy. We have, wait, didn't I just tell you, be patient with yourself? Be patient when working with these gifts. Be patient when working with these energies. There's no need to, oh, look at that, balance. Again, justice energy, balance. Stay balanced. There's no need to move too quickly in this. The speed will pick up as it needs to. Okay? But there's a lot of suppressed energy. There's still a lot of suppressed vibrations, shadow work that some of you need to finish completing. For others, it's just this inner knowing that's dormant, and it needs to express itself. It can't do that suppressed. So first, you want to learn how to tap into some self-control and be balanced in your emotions and feelings, so that that energy can come out the correct way. I'm gonna tell you guys something that I personally rarely hear people talk about, and that is when you're tapping into a lot of your abilities, especially as a person who deals with the energy of elements, you have to be mindful of the mentality and the energy you're in regardless, but definitely when you're working with that kind of energy. Okay, it'll manifest the things you don't want 3 times quicker if you're not careful, and you're probably already doing that when you're too focused on a low vibration. So it's important to release. Some of you might decide to say, okay, the first 7 days I'm going to release, and then the next 7 days I'm going to reflect. And then on the last 7 days, I'm going to actually focus the energy, because now I've had time to reflect and get the answers. I'm going to focus all the positive reinforcement, all of the wishes I have into this water, and then I'm going to drink this water and let that energy flow through me. And let that become my reality, and accept that that is now my reality, that I've set the tone. And then after that, it's up to you to hold yourself accountable for all those days and the days after to actually do the work to achieve these goals. And there are different goals here for you guys. This is just to give you an idea of what to do to get started. Let's see where your aura is right now. We're using another one of these decks, Colorology. Let's see. Where's your aura at? What colors should you be envisioning and working with? Tropical orange. I'm not sure if that's showing up as beautiful here. It's like a peachy orange. It might be looking a little darker on my camera, but it's like a peachy orange. Tropical colors will be good for you, and many of you focus on a fruit-based diet, okay? Work on a fruit-based diet. Now, I'm not a dietitian, okay? But from a holistic standpoint, fruit can help you a lot. And for some of you, focus on removing any type of parasitic from your energy, any type of parasite from your belly. So gut health, really important here as well. I would recommend checking out, what is the name of his page? I believe it's A Plant Life. I believe that's the name of the page. I'll put the links in the description. A recommendation, not as a doctor. This is just something, if you try it at your own risk, because we gotta be legally safe around here. But I would definitely say, as a holistic view, work with fruits, work with adding a healthy balance to your diet. Your diet should be a healthy balance here. Whatever that needs to be for your body, learn your body and what your body needs and give it that. Okay? Tropical places can help you feel energized as well. So that also explains why the water energy was so strong, because most of the time when we think tropical, we think beaches. So images of beaches, maybe fruit, greenery, that's going to help you guys a lot with your manifestations and your vibrations, okay? Outdoor scenery, open spaces. Let's say you're like, I'm a city person though. Well, you need more nature in your life, but we can work around that. envision yourself not so much in the clunk and the clutter of the city, but envision yourself in spacious areas. Let's say you want to move, right? You may not want something super big and you don't have to, but just imagine having a place where you have enough space. Like even when you bring your things into the space, it's not cluttered. You can walk around freely, okay? You can express yourself freely. That's going to help you here. Along with that, of course, we have delight standing out to me here. We have enthusiasm, okay? We have, all of these things are standing out, but I feel like delight is really important for your energy because some of you, you've been in like a really suppressed dark energy, and we need to get you up out of that. Ooh, check out the horse. We have stable. I believe I'm saying the word right. You know, I think they mean no, it's saddle. Saddle. Why did I say stable? Okay, because you need stable energy. I hear you, Spirit. Saddle brown. Gear up, saddle up. That's making me think of Knight of Swords and Knight of Wands right now. And being balanced between those two energies, the energy of determination and enthusiasm mixed with the go-getter, the risk-taker. Calculated risk for many of you. I always point that out. Some risks you could calculate and some you can't, but you do know that in life you'll have to take them. It's up to you to use your discernment for when. Okay? So that's important here too. Trustworthiness is standing out the most. Trust yourself. If you can't trust no one else, when you can't trust or bank on anyone else, you can trust and bank on yourself. Okay? But you do want to be open to making the kind of connections that are trustworthy. They will help you in the long run. We have cotton candy, and look at that. Speaking of which, we have compassion, kindness, and charm. All of them are standing out, and we have the hand. Now, I think this is, it looks like, yeah, it's a husband holding their wife hand. But before my eyes, I saw this hand appear shrink and turn into that of a child. So there is some inner child work or working with young kids that's necessary here. Maybe some of you are a teacher, or you want to be a teacher, or you have children. All right. Next, we're going to get into Joey. I believe it's King Aloha. All the links to the decks are in the description. We're going to see what numbers come out for y'all. Yep. Remember I said stable, stability. No coincidences. 2249. You see it. Any chaotic or confusing energies will be dispatched. Expect energies to be balancing out and returning to your version of normal. But I feel like for most of you, this is going to go beyond your version of normal. Your version of normal might be normally the chaotic. It's not. It's doing the opposite of that. If for other people you're used to your normal being a little more centered than that, then this is working for that too. And you see how this hand is a husband and wife, and I said this hand looked like it was shrinking and turning into a child. We have marriage here. So, and look at that. What number did I give you guys in the beginning of this message? And it said somebody wanted to be open with their gifts to you. Marriage can represent a contract. The Six of Chalice can represent a contract. So there could be someone that literally wants to work with you on developing your gifts. Like, let's say you're an artist. They want to work with you on developing your art. Let's say for some of you, it is a couple thing. Maybe you're going to go into business with your spouse. Use your discernment to know what's for you. But it's a long-term connection. I'm hearing a long-term commitment based on the kind of soul contract this is for you guys. 222 was a message for the whole group in Pile 1. It came out in your reading. We have karma. Oh, more twos. 22 in the beginning of this, 22 at the end of this, with 4 which is twos. Lot of the power of 2 is very strong here. What goes around comes around. You receive good karma for the past actions and good deeds done. For what? From what? Your kindness. And we had kindness come out here. These energies are making me talk fast, so take it for what it is, love. You guys might have to watch it a few times. All right, now we're going to get into the Boss Up affirmations in Pile 1. That will be your reading. You can comment below what resonates for you. We have, I know that self-care is not selfish. Self-care also incorporates self-love. So take time to love on you. Be gentle with yourself. Be kind and patient with yourself, which was another important part of this message. That's confirmation. We have, I feel my emotions fully. Exactly. And we manifest from our emotions, so make sure that you are releasing any that mean you harm and don't do you any good. Very important. Your last card is, I love my body. Love all your bodies. Love all of your bodies, your celestial bodies, and there's a lot of them, okay? Your physical body, your mental space and body. Love all of the bodies that make up who you are and what you are. And my loves, if I focus too long on your energy, we're going to go into a lot of details that's like class worthy. We're going to leave this right here. I pray that that resonated for you and it gave you the clarity that you need. Peace, love, and light, beautiful souls. All right, pile 2. My herb babies. You chose the herbalist right here. Okay, so you guys, what you're able to do focuses a lot on exactly that, the growth of things. The growth of things. Expansion. Healing. You probably identify with Reiki healing or the comment to lay hands. Not in the fight sense, but when they mean that you have blessed hands, you probably have the kind of energy that when you make things, like when you cook, even when you clean, the vibration clears up. Something about cleaning is important here. I'll get to that in a moment. But first, let's find out what energies are you tapping into that'll have everything you touch turning into gold. Ooh, the King of Pentacles. Look at you. Okay. Oh, child, from the bat. Okay. Oh wow, the King and Queen of Cups is here. I'm actually hearing that they want more cards. So I'm thinking that even though you guys didn't choose, I'm feeling these energies right now, even though you guys didn't choose the elemental pal, elements may be encompassed here a little bit. If that's the case, we have the King of Pentacles here representing wood. So that means he's representing growth, development, which is literally what he represents naturally. He's somebody who knows how to expand his riches. He knows how to take value in himself, what he can bring to the table. So you need to take value in yourself and what you can bring to the table, boo-boo. You have hands that can make things grow. You know the expression green thumb. Now, some of you could be in gardening. Some of you could be in other creative endeavors. Whatever you're into, you have the capability to make it grow. So you need to see the value of your work. If you are somewhere right now where you don't feel valued, it's time to start. Now, you know that expression when they say nobody can tell you to quit your day job. I always tell you guys, you know already if you're ready to move on past something. You know, right? It's best to have things in place and prepared for when the time comes to do it, but you don't want to procrastinate if you're feeling that you shouldn't. You also don't want to stress yourself out. The King of Pentacles, he's going to check every single avenue. He's going to make sure whatever steps he takes, they build his stability. Even if he takes a calculated risk, it's calculated. Like he already weighed the pros and cons. Somebody here is really good at making things grow. I wouldn't be surprised if you have a garden or you like plants. Maybe when you're at other people's houses or you're around other people's energies, they feel healthier around you, happier around you, something. Now be careful of this, because typically people will take advantage of this kind of energy, and for some of you that might have already been happening, and that's another reason the King of Pentacles is coming in here with the vibration of wood, because wood is also about things anew, things becoming anew, new beginnings starting, and it's also the beginning of fire. So what we're going to do is we're going to go from wood right into the fire element. Okay, now in the tarot sense, this is earth, but we're going to read it as wood. And we're going to read the Magician, which is normally Mercury energy, as the fire placement. And in this case, we're looking at fire to promote. It's still tied into development. Both of these energies are representing development. But this is saying Just like this person knows their value and how to get their hands on resources, the magician knows how to experiment with those said resources to get the result that's necessary, knows how to communicate with the energies, the elements, the people, whatever they got to communicate with. They know how to get energies to cooperate with each other. Energy is about cooperation. How can things contribute to each other and balance each other? Now, sometimes the balance is going to have to be fair and not necessarily equal, meaning, let's say you need a little more, let's say you need to be able to express yourself more. Maybe you're really good at hands-on things. Like if you can just get out in the garden, if you can just go to work and type up a resume or something like that, you're good. But when it's time to open your mouth and speak, you struggle with that. Then it's time to practice that a bit more. Give that a little more energy, because that's something you need to refine. So I feel like you're being called to look at the things that you're good at doing and look at the things that you're like, oh, I'm all right, or I struggle a bit. And if it's something that you really feel like you need, how can you give it some practice and refine it? Do not be a hard behind on yourself. Okay, don't stress yourself out like, oh, I can't. You lose that word from your vocabulary. There are going to be some things that you're just like extremely talented at. I mean, look, you can be talented at many a thing. Multifaceted, multi-talented person. But if right now something in particular just needs a little more focus, a little bit more experimentation, then do so. The magician loves to experiment. But a divine magician, meaning a magician in his highest vibration, knows how to experiment by making sure that the elements are complementing each other, that the tools being used are complementing each other, and that it's a fair energy flow between them all. Okay, especially if what you're working on involves other people. The red is really standing out here on her. And because the magician's in the feminine energy, this also changes things. I know a lot of times when decks are like this, people just get happy like, oh, the magician's just a female. Pay attention to how it contributes to the energy that's being read. Even if you're a masculine right now, because we did start off with a masculine energy. But whether you be masculine or feminine, the divine feminine energy is going to help you with the type of communication between the vibrations that you need here. You're experimenting from a place of intuition and cooperation, not control and manipulation only. It's all manipulating energy, but you get what I'm trying to say. All right. Whereas in the first position with wood, you're focusing on how to promote life and have stability and how to have a strong foundation. Okay. So these two things are important. New beginnings are coming in for you guys. Now, funny enough, this is an air energy, and the air energy is what we're going to move into next. And I feel like with this vibration here, I'm picking up two things. I'm picking up both the energy of air and metal. And I might lean this more towards metal than anything else, because metal is about completing a task, a sense of order, which can also come along with a sense of justice depending on who you are. But I feel like this is more about completing a task. If you start something, see it through. Okay? The year 2023 is about seeing things through. No more putting something in the back burner. Oh, I'll get to it. Up 10, 11 years past, you still didn't do it. What is it that's calling you? Put in the effort. Do the work. Release what you need to release. If there is something that's keeping you from reaching your goals or completing the task that you need to, and the first task that comes to mind may or may not be the one that the energies are talking about here. Perhaps there's a new venture. We do have, a budding new life in the beginning of fire. And in the fire placement, we have the Magician card, which is naturally Mercury, which is a mix between Gemini and Virgo energy. But we're reading it as a fire vibration right now. So with that being said, what is it new? What's budding inside of you right now in your mind? What wants to grow? How can you water that which wants to grow? How can you experiment with the tools that you have around you in a way that is cooperative? Nature is about balance through cooperation. That and Pile 1 had to hear the first thing. You might resonate with checking out Pile 1, Pile 2, because like I said, interestingly enough, elements are playing in your reading a lot more here. But it's all from the viewpoint of growth and healing. So there's a lot that you need to release and a lot that you need to heal. Complete the task of your healing, and you'll see the other things you need to get done. You're able to give energy to. Okay? Something's got to be let go of. You know your situation, so you know what that's about. I'm going to read a little bit of air into it as far as like purity is concerned, we can read into it from that perspective of purity. And that's going to be a part of your transformation, and transformation can also tie into fire. Okay, so interestingly enough, we went down the elements that way. Now, in the position of air by itself, we have the King of Cups here. And this feels like purity. This feels like purity. Mastering what's necessary. You've gotten rid of and flushed out of your system anything that's not working, any mentality that hasn't worked, any traumas you were holding on to, you've let that go. And now it's easier to master what you need to. And notice he's sitting right here, this vibration, between the king and the magician. Between strong foundation and solid force and the power of wood, which is development, okay? Which is, it promotes growth, okay? Then we have the magician here. And the magician right now is representing the energy of fire from the standpoint of also development, of passions, creative experiments, all collecting here in this person's vibration, who is the master. Whatever the King of Cups learns, he becomes the grand master in it. So it's time for you to activate to those levels, okay? If there were any tides or waves or ripples around you getting crazy, this is the person. This is the ability to ride the waves instead of fighting them. Maybe even calm the waters yourself, because you'll have the capability and the insight to do so. You'll know when to kind of like intervene in something and when to pull back. That's important to take note. And then between the magician and the Three of Swords, I kept saying okay a lot, so I feel like somebody does that. Like when they're teaching, somebody could be like an instructor, like not necessarily a teacher per se, though that too came out in Power 1, somebody possibly being like a teacher of kids or something. But here, I feel like somebody maybe gives instructions at their job, or you used to, like maybe you trained people, and you say okay a lot when you're trying to make sure that like the person's following along with you. It's not something I normally do, but I'm feeling like every 15 seconds I want to say okay. So someone here says okay a lot. In the position of water, we have the Queen of Water herself, the Queen of Cups. And the Queen of Cups is, and notice how these two are facing each other. That's brilliant. Brilliant. And the way that the cards fell were perfect. Okay? So the person who's able to master their emotions, master a task, put it into practice. When the waves get kind of crazy, they ride the waves, not fight them. When the storms build up, they calm the storms, not add to them. You know, very balanced, well-balanced person with a very well-balanced counterpart here. This feels like the counterpart within yourself. For some of you, you could have a partner that does this, but this is more so about you, okay? In this vibration, we confirm you not only being a healer and being very intuitive, but knowing how to sense the genuine feelings in others, when to, shine your compassion. And it's not that you don't shine it on people when you see another side of them. You just know who to let in and who not. I always tell you guys, when it comes to that cup, when the top is on the cup, the queen doesn't want anybody, just any old body coming in and being able to look into her cup and see her wonders, if you would, right? She's cautious of that. But when she has the cup outstretched, almost like she's giving it as a trophy, and notice that she's putting it towards the king over here. She looks like she has the pitcher and he has the cup waiting to be filled by the pitcher. It's an offering. It's like, I'm willing to offer my gifts. I'm willing to offer my assistance. I'm willing to heal. I'm willing to help someone and others heal. So I feel like your work, your job, whatever you want to do, whatever it may be called, one of the ways it'll be of service to people is it helps them with their healing. So that's why you have to allow yourself to heal and release anything that gets in the way of that, so that you can communicate those energies properly. We're going to get, what element do you want to take us into, Spirit? We're going to go into the element of earth. And then we'll go into space. We'll do it like that. We have 10 of Wands for earth. Okay? Again, a releasing, a letting go. But also the 10 of Wands. What are you investing in? One thing's for sure. When we plant seeds and we want things to grow and expand, we have to pay attention to where we're making those investments, aka where are we planting those seeds? Is the soil right? I'm speaking in the sense of plants, so to speak, not just because of the herbalist vibration, but because you can envision this, like envision land that's just rich in soil. It's rich. You know, whatever grows from this, it's going to be fruitful and plentiful. So it's worth the investment. And if right now, when you have that imagination, if you go, okay, let me envision how I would, metaphorically see the space around me. And if it's dull and dry and ain't nothing growing here, this is a desert. You know what I mean? If it's just a desert and things feel hard, and you know that there's some stuff you need to release. And that can be your meditation homework, if you would. Being able to see yourself in your current circumstance. Maybe it looks like a wasteland. Maybe it looks like a desert. Maybe it just looks like a place that's a bit dreary and gloomy, and start envisioning the light coming in. Start seeing the vibrancy come in. Start seeing the land become plentiful. Now, you can change this to be whatever you need it to be to fit your situation. I'm using nature for the example. Maybe it's a rainy day. Maybe it's looking out at the seas, and in your vision you see them harsh, and you need to be the person that can calm the oceans. Whatever it is for you, that's your meditation. Listen to rain videos, listen to nature videos. And what comes to mind? What images do you see? If it's something that's kind of like murky, work on changing the vision of that in your mental. Okay? And work on the feelings that are necessary to tap into to do that. What makes you feel really, really amazing? If you go, oh, it's been a long time since I felt amazing, I don't know what that is. That's why we need to release. Don't put it on another person. Oh, when I'm at this person's house, when I'm dealing with this individual, we're talking about you. What makes you feel good as an individual? This is going to help you a lot, because you really can't help anyone else if you're stuck in this vibration, but you're trying to be this loving and giving person. You're just going to wear yourself out. And the 10 of Pentacles can be about that. It can be about physically wearing yourself out. Focus on where you're investing. You're closer to your goals than you think you are. But if you keep taking on a load after a load after a load, you're going to wear yourself out and wear yourself down. Comment below if you're following along so far, or if you had to maybe listen to the message more than once to get it. Both of these readings have me speaking really fast for some reason. I don't know if that's because, I guess we could say it's the urgency for some of you. And if you want to check out Power Wand, if you feel moved to do that, go ahead, because here we have the High Priestess. And the High Priestess came out in the other one. And yours, here's the beautiful thing. This here, Earth, this here, as far as like how we're pulling the cards for the element, this is space. Everything. The surrounding atmosphere. The outer and inner energy source. That's what this is coming in to represent. So not only is your High Priestess speaking to an inner knowing, but unlocking the vastness of the cosmos. Unlocking that for yourself. Being able to tap in. And your way of doing that is how you help things grow. Notice that she's watering her little cactus plant here. Well, sometimes I see it as a cactus, and then sometimes I see it as like a little bush here. But notice, that's what she's doing. What are you watering right now? Okay, what are you giving attention to? That's of importance here. And you have also, this High Priestess is an older woman. Okay, more of a coon. This is an inner wisdom that dates back very far. And for some of you, you could be tapping into the divine feminine energy of lineages before you. Great-grandmothers, great-grand-aunts, ancestors for some of you as far back as a good 500 years. Okay, so pay attention to that exact number, not just the number 5, which yes, it goes down to as a single digit, but 500 years. Ancestors that date back 500 years. That's really important. They're giving you signs, they're giving you symbols. Many of you come from a line of healers and people who were gifted with their hands and their words. People love being around you, but that also means that sometimes they're going to want to tap into your energy and take from you a bit, and you need to make sure you're not allowing that. Respect your energy enough not to allow that, because then what'll happen? You get weighed down and you can't do what you need to do. Okay? You've got a lot of options. You've got a lot of choices. None of them are meant to be a burden to you. They're all meant to give you a greater insight on what you need to do. Let's start off. We're going to do yours a little different. Let's start off with your aura. I'm going to go to your aura. Desire. Okay, the desire card is like, I mean, in this lighting, it's like a bright red, almost with a pink. It might look different on my camera. Desires are very important here. The divine feminine energy is very important. We have warmth, sexuality, and longing. Okay, the longing energy, something to do with what you need to release. Let go of what you need to release. Okay, give yourself some more love. Tap into your sexuality, which is a huge expression of your creativity as well. Okay, I'm hearing Beyonce's I'm feeling myself. I'm feeling my. Now, some of y'all may take that literally, and perhaps for you it's meant to be. But it's more so about, feel your own energy, feel your own vibration and the desire of it, and the impulse of it. Fill it out. Get acquainted with it. That's really, really important here. Again, the King of Pentacles knows his value. The Magician understands how to use the tools at their disposal in cooperation with nature. No harm to none kind of vibration. So sexuality can represent that too. Getting in tune with your sexual self, getting in tune with your physical, mental, and spiritual expression from that desire perspective. When you love on you and you treat you right, you're showing others how to treat you. That's the energy that always comes out at some point in these readings for somebody. Okay? So, a lot of red for you guys. Didn't I tell you guys that the red on her thing was standing out? I believe I said it out loud. We have red rose, and this is a deeper velvet red. And we have love, respect, and beauty. So be you masculine or feminine, it's time to really understand your desires as a single individual. What makes you desirable to you? If you were to introduce yourself to you, and you do have something, if you feel you don't, then you understand that you need to work on some self-love here. You need to see the value in yourself. That's the best way to see the value in what you're capable of, and that's the best way to show others and present it correctly. We're not talking about presenting your sex, so to speak, but your ideas, your creativity, your gifts. Okay, you have a healing ability. Make sure that you're turning that healing power onto yourself. A lot of times, fellow healers will tell me, oh, I'm good at healing everyone else but me. That perception is, to put it bluntly, fucking you over. Stop it. If you can heal a stranger, if you can make somebody else feel good, you can make yourself feel good. But you need to invest just as much time and just as much effort as when you were helping a total stranger. Because I'm going to tell you something. You might have helped that other person, but not nearly as much or as you could have if you were at your fullest capacity. And you can't be that if you're not investing in yourself properly or in the right energies or putting too many burdens on yourself. The king and queen must be balanced with each other. And those two right there, their vibration towards each other is one of great understanding. Okay? We have gold, courage, wisdom, and success. And we have, for the animal energy here, the owl. So for many of you, the owl right now is your guide. You can meditate on the owl spirit and ask the owl, with love and protection, divine guidance, guide me to what I need to see. Guide me to what wisdom I need to tap into. Especially when you're doing ancestor work. It'll come to you in dreams. I recommend that you do this in waking meditations, but you may doze off. And I know others will pitch a bitch about that, but sometimes that happens. Sometimes they'll take you into the sleep realm first. Okay? Put a book by your bed and or a tape recorder, and when you wake up, don't focus on remembering the whole dream. What are the first key things that came to mind when you woke up? Okay? After you did that meditation. Like if you wake up and you're like, tree, red car, lily pad. It might sound bizarre. Write it down anyway. This was the dream. Meditate on them, bit by bit later, or just pay attention throughout the day. Don't take, for example, lily pad, you might actually see like a picture of one. Maybe something pops up on TV and you would have probably seen it and didn't really notice it was a message for you until this being told you. So, guys, for this pile, work with the owl spirit. And once again, I feel like saying, okay, who are you? Put it in the comment section. Who are you? I'm going to need you to work on that. You say okay a lot. Beautiful soul, though. Beautiful energy. All right, let's get into, we just did, this was V's deck. We're going to get into Celeste Simone, the Celeste Rose. Did I just see a flash of red again? Yes, I did, you little rebel. Somebody here's got rose tattoos. I just saw. It doesn't look like this one. It looks more like this. It's a shaded, like a really, how can I say this? You know how some rose tattoos are really realistic and then others have a little more shadow work and they're detailed, but they're more like cartoon. Someone has a rose tattoo like that, or somebody close to you does or did. And so roses are significant for you here. The color red and roses are very significant. Embrace yourself. Good fortune, baby. Good fortune. That's like I'm hearing all you gotta do is say less. And I had to say the word say less in Power 1, 2, but you got the song. What was I just talking about with the owl? When you wake up, look, put a book and or a tape recorder by you. Because for some people, it's easier to like say things than write them down. For others, writing, whatever. And write down what you're channeling when you meditate on that animal. Okay, any meditation you do, you should be doing this. But when you set one with this kind of intention, you definitely, unless you have excellent memory, you're going to want to write it down and then pay attention throughout that day or however many days that vibration gave you to see a sign for the synchronicities. Some of you, this whole message is synchronicity. Everything you're hearing right now aligns with something you are already thinking or feeling. It's just giving you a more in-depth look. Okay, we're going to go into Mystic Star Magic's Oracle now. And again, both of these piles made me talk fast. So maybe someone feels like this energy, they need this encouragement urgently. I don't feel like you have to rush anything. Take your time. Tap into this inner magic with patience. But you might have just been feeling kind of like, ugh, as of late. Or just, oh, why am I so stuck? What's going on? Because both piles made me talk very fast. We have Needle. You will be admired for your achievements. Some of you are into crocheting. And we have Focus here. Focus is of the utmost importance, love. For both groups. Focus is of importance. And what did I tell you? Divine feminine energy. Look at that. Fan. Okay. Some of you, as you get in tune with your sensuality, flirtatiousness is coming out of you more. Now be mindful where you direct that energy. Don't be directing that nowhere that it don't need to be, or to anyone that is unworthy. But I also feel like for some of you, flirting with your desires isn't about to a person in particular, but more so the dreams and the goals that you want to experience and have for yourself. Like, let's say you have a desire to go somewhere exotic, somewhere that's like really exotic to yourself, but you were like, man, I don't know if I would ever, get along in a place like that, blah, blah, blah. You're switching your vibration to flirt with the idea so that you can be more open to it. All right. Another thing I'm picking up here that I just saw when the fan was spread out. So some of you may resonate with like the Renaissance period, and, around that timeline, you may like you may enjoy the fans from there, like the lace fans. You might like the clothing from there. You may resonate with like, another time frame, because I'm seeing different periods of the Renaissance, like wardrobe. I'm also seeing like Marie Antoinette style clothing and whatnot in that time period. Something about lace, like lace gowns, palaces, like this type of theme. This is something you're into. Maybe you have a vintage home. Maybe you have vintage things in your home. Someone might have it's kind of hard to make it out, but what it looks like to me, the lights are off in the room that I'm seeing, okay? So bear with me. I don't know why they're off, but they're off. And there's a lamp in the room with a lace shade. The lamp's not on, but there's a lace shade on it. I can't tell if it's cream or off-white, but that's what I'm seeing. It's like an umbrella hood, kind of, if that makes sense. Like an umbrella light lamp cover. I don't know how else to describe that. And I don't feel like sketching it. But that's what I'm seeing here. Anyway, In that time period, women used to flirt with fans, and when they would go to balls and they wanted to, tell a gentleman that they were into them without saying it, back in the days when women needed, chaperones, they would use their fans. You would do certain gestures with your fan to let, the guy that you was interested in know that he could come over. There's something to that. Somebody's not good at maybe flirting directly. If that makes sense. You're good with signals. You're a signal person. So, I think that's another reason Spirit likes to send you synchronicities, because you're supposed to be good with signals. Take what resonates for you, darling. We have a rose again. I'm telling you, roses are important for you guys. You will receive a compliment and a new friend and a new friendship that maybe you were flirting with. Okay, this is whether you're masculine or feminine. If you're a masculine, you too might struggle sometimes with flirting directly. Maybe you're like the guy that gives the looks. Not creepy, just like the look of, well, hello, I'm interested. You got 2 extra cards here. The key, which is you will change jobs or careers. We talked about this earlier. We have adventure. Only you know if you're meant to stay somewhere or leave it, and only you can make that decision. We have a friend is needed. A friend is in need of your help, but I feel like this is speaking more so for your own energy as well as just to your capability of healing. Just be mindful to not wear yourself thin, and if you're the person that needs some help and support, make sure that you're feeling the energies out. Don't, go to people you can trust and rely on. Comment below. There could be others in the community that sometimes people just need to hear a good vibe, a good word, a little bit of encouragement. Just like sometimes people just need a hug. They just need to feel embraced, right? So feel free to engage with each other in the comments. You don't have to vent your whole business, but you can get something off your chest and just hear somebody, myself or someone else, tell you, hey, you can keep going, you got this, or whatever encouragement fits your situation. There's a lot of intuitives around here, okay? Let's get into your wishes. As fast as they had me talking, these readings sure did take some time. Oh, Lord. Listen. Sex appeal. Let your sensual self shine. This isn't about being promiscuous. This is about loving on you, loving your body, loving your energy, flirting with yourself, flirting with your desires. And by desires, I mean, what are your goals? The goals that will improve you, the things that you can expand upon. Sexual energy is the energy of creation, and it is a very sacred energy. Don't let the times confuse you. Sex has always been about sacred energy, and when you lay with someone, you are exchanging vibrations and energy. So be mindful of that, okay? Make sure you ain't flirting with danger, darling. And we have patience. I spoke about this. You guys are feeling like you're in a state of urgency, some of you. Like you need to know what's going on. You need to know, why aren't the things I'm trying to do working out, blah, blah, blah. A part of that is everything mentioned here. This has been giving you a bit of what to do, what to pay attention to, as well as pointing out you need to release some things. It's creating a block. And as you are patient with yourself and you start releasing what's releasing what's necessary, you're able to tap into the energies you need to. But if you try to rush the process, you're going to burn yourself out. I feel burnt out talking this fast. So if you guys talk like this too, holy is. Sometimes Spirit does that to me and it speeds me up, but I'm like legit almost out of breath. Okay? We have positive change. When you're patient with yourself, you'll notice positive change. I want you guys, I know these colors came out and you should meditate on them. They're your aura colors to work with. Okay? But definitely incorporate gold. A lot of the gold. And gold came out here. But earthy gold as well. Like the orangey, brownish gold. Incorporate that as well. Pretty much like the color. Again, my camera may not reflect it the best. But like this color in here. It's like a brownish gold. Okay? Lots of red and lots of gold. Those are the colors for you to meditate on. We're close to closing you out here. A few more cards for you. We're going to get the boss up affirmation after we do these positive numbers. This is also V's deck. These two. Colorology and the switch one. I am done. Do you see that? Listen here. What you worry for? 43. I was about to say 34. 34 could be someone's age here. 43 and 1968. Somebody might have been born 1968. The year 1968 feels of importance to somebody that's going to end up watching this. Look at that. An increase of blessings and abundance. What you worried for? Prosperity is right there waiting on you. Soul Tribe. 1056. Somebody might have been born 1956. That's also standing out. For someone else, the month of October is significant to you. It doesn't have to be October coming per se, but there's something about the month of October that's significant. October can be Scorpio season, so therefore it can represent transformation and change. Okay, and we do have positive change here. So maybe some positive things took place in October, or maybe even some harsh things took place in October, but it was all the catalyst to what needs to happen. It was like a catalyst. Something needed to be ended, let go of, transmuted out of your vibration. Okay, you're going to start meeting the people that you will align with. Welcome to the fam. Welcome to the tribe, my friend. Remember, soul family are people who will feel like family and trust and believe they will come in too. Soul tribe is the community that starts to support you. So they may not always be people that you'll call sis or bro or anything like that, but they love just as fiercely and they support it. If you run a business, a lot of times the dedicated people that support your business vibrate at high, they vibrate with you. So they're much like a soul tribe. You're not always personally connected to your soul tribe, but you do align with them. And with your soul family, their personal bonds and connections grow. Soul family can also be relatives that you already have that bond with too. Okay, they might have been your family over and over again. And we have contacts. 666. 666 is also about a need to change. Sometimes things go on pause. So in October, somebody might have had some situations pause, but it was all meant to be a catalyst for what's on the way. Just so that you understand. Okay, agreements and contracts are of importance here. You may resonate with Pile 1. I said it a lot, so 111. Significant. In the beginning, for the breath work, you guys was given a number. I recommend you go back and listen to that number because it plays in Pile 1 heavy. Okay, for those of you who will go back and watch Pile 1. And for those of you who didn't watch the breath work, it's important that you watch the breath work, okay? The number always matters. So look these numbers up, take them down to double and single digits and see how those meanings also resonate for you. Okay. All right, Pile 2, we're finishing you off, darling. Look at this. And it flew all the way across the table. I am a powerful creator. Type that in the comments section. Say that to yourself out loud as you type it. That's an affirmation right there for you. If you got to write this on a sticky note and put it on every space of your house. I am a powerful co-creator. What do roses do? They bloom. And as beautiful and gorgeous as they are and as fragile as they can seem, they got them thorns. Okay, divinely protected at all times. I say it around here for a reason. I play no games. You are a powerful co-creator. You better start owning it. What is sexual energy? Creation energy. If you've been laying with somebody you can't trust, stop it, because you're sharing energy that you shouldn't be. Now, some of you needed to hear it that way. Take what resonates for you. This is a collective. Everyone's situation is different. What else we got going on here? I am worthy. Confirmation all the way around. I love when that happens, when y'all see what channel's in, and then you see how the messages align in real time. I love my unique qualities, like my sensual ways, the curves of the body. Be you heavy set, thin, thickums, whatever you are, you're beautiful. Accept it, love it. If there's something that you want to change, don't want to change it for other people. Change it because you want to be the best version of you and your divinity. Meaning you're going to feel good physically, mentally, and spiritually. Don't worry about having to be fake or put on some type of illusion for anybody. People got to love and accept you for the powerhouse that you are. And if you haven't been allowing yourself to vibrate at that capacity, it's time to. You are a healer. You have just as much ability to heal yourself and water your own plants as you can the next person. Your job is 9 times out of 10, to some capacity, whatever it may be, it helps others grow and expand. Somebody here is some type of like trainer, instructor. You should know this about yourself already. I pray that this gave you the clarity and the encouragements that you need. Peace, love, and light, beautiful soul.
Get your copy of Love Confession Cyber Edition. Link in bio.